Hey everyone, my name is Josh and welcome back to your fourth stimulus package and news update. We have a lot of news to get into in today's video, but first, if you would like to receive 1 free stock from Robinhood and 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to over $2,000, make sure to claim them by clicking my links, which you will find in the description box below. Okay, so since the middle of December when Joe Manchin put his foot down on being against the framework of the Build Back Better bill, things have pretty much come to a halt. Even though behind closed doors, there may very well be some conversations going on, but publicly, we haven't really heard all that much. Here is the White House press secretary when asked about where they currently are with this bill.
Just on Build Back Better, because I have to ask about that at the press briefing. Look, I understand you guys can walk and chew gum at the same time, but in talking to Democrats in both chambers, some over here as well, there's just not a lot of sense that the conversations you guys have said are ongoing right now are going at a pretty significant clip or are substantive at this point. So where are you guys and what are the next steps here?
Well, our conversations are continuing behind the scenes at a staff level. And I can assure you that, and assure the American people, that the president is going to continue to press to get Build Back Better done, to ensure that we are lowering costs for Americans across the country. Most importantly, to ensure we are lowering costs for Americans across the country on child care, on elder care, on health care, addressing the climate crisis. We know that we need 50 votes in order to get that legislation done, and we need to figure out what that looks like to get that legislation done. But those conversations are happening behind the scenes, and the president remains absolutely committed to lowering costs for the American people.
And while lawmakers kick Build Back Better down the road, in the meantime, they continue to press forward with voter rights legislation. Since no Republicans are in favor of standardizing the nation's election laws, as they feel election laws should be controlled by state and local governments, Democrats instead hope to get rid of the filibuster. By doing this, they would no longer need any Republican support and could change election laws for every state. The problem for Majority Leader Schumer and other Democrats in favor of getting rid of the filibuster is that Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are both supporters of it. Of course, Republicans will be quick to point out that Democrats are actually hypocrites on getting rid of the filibuster because just a few years back, many of them, including the president himself, were against getting rid of it. Here are just a few Senate Democrats once saying the filibuster should stay, but now that they have the majority, be in favor of getting rid of it, only because now it would work in their favor.
Let us go no further down this road. I hope the Republican leader and I can, in the coming months, find a way to build a firewall around the legislative filibuster, which is the most important distinction between the Senate and the House.
When you were in the minority, you joined plenty of efforts to filibuster legislation.
The big difference is that we were always willing to negotiate in a bipartisan way. Mitch McConnell isn't.
Why would you not think this is the beginning of the end for the filibuster?
We cannot fail on key things to our democracy like S1, and everything's on the table.
No, I'm not crazy about getting rid of the filibuster. At the end of the day, we have to end the filibuster. It is just unfair and undemocratic for a minority of the Senate to prevent what the majority of people want in this country, in the House and in the Senate.
Everybody I've talked to believe that the legislative filibuster should stay there, and I will personally resist efforts to get rid of it.
I think the filibuster is going to be a defining debate for our party, whether we want to start delivering real results. We need to deliver on the demands, not of Democrats, but of Americans who want to see their government function.
I strongly oppose the filibuster, especially the abuse of the filibuster. It's not so much the use, it's really the abuse that was the trademark of Republicans in the last session, will still in that session. But I would use, as Senator Murphy just said, every tool at our disposal. The rules are the rules.
I've stated repeatedly, literally for 10 years that I've been in the United States Senate, that I advocate abolishing the filibuster or drastically reforming it.
I'm committed to never voting to change the legislative filibuster. I'm not ready to get rid of the filibuster yet. But frankly, Joy, we have to make progress, and we have to deliver on the results the American people are looking for.
What about that nuclear option, doing away with the filibuster? Well, I can tell you that would be the end of the Senate as it was originally devised and created going back to our founding fathers.
Does it mean you should get rid of the filibuster?
Well, we should obviously take a look at it. If it's going to stop essential business for the United States Senate, we have to reevaluate it.
In order to convince Republicans to vote on their voter rights bills, Schumer had a proposal last night. That proposal was, if Republicans allowed Democrats to pass their 2 voter rights bills with just a simple majority, in return, they would sign off on holding simple majority votes on nearly 20 bills that Republicans placed on the Senate calendar. This proposal, unsurprisingly, was rejected by Mitch McConnell.
Legislative day.
Now, Madam President, a few moments ago, I went through the typical Rule 14 process, which the Majority Leader always does, to place legislation from both minority and majority on the legislative calendar. It's merely technical. Now, the Republican leader seems to want to place a bunch of gotcha bills on the legislative calendar that he thinks would be tough votes for Democrats to take as some kind of payback for pursuing legislation to protect the sacred right to vote. Well, we Democrats aren't afraid of these votes. So what I propose to the Republican leader is that the Senate hold up or down votes at a majority threshold on each of the Republican bills he has outlined tonight, as well as the Freedom to Vote Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Let me say again, in a few moments, I'll ask unanimous consent to have the Senate vote on the Freedom to Vote Act, the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, and all the so-called tough bills the Republican leader is proposing tonight at a majority threshold. We believe the right to vote, to protect our democracy, to get rid of dark money from elections, to end gerrymandering to assure the American people pick their elected leaders, not politicians, is so important, I'd hope the Republican leader would go along with this proposal. Our caucus strongly disagrees with the Republican bills on this list, but for the sake of our democracy and getting to a majority vote on voting rights, we are willing to vote. So, Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that at a time to be determined by the majority leader, in consultation with the Republican leader, that the Senate vote on passage of the following bills in the order listed, that there be no motions or amendments in order to the bills, and that the passage be at a majority threshold, all without intervening action or debate. S. 2747, the Freedom to Vote Act. H.R. 4, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. S. 3452, 3453. Do I have to read the S's? Okay. S. 3452, S. 3453, S. 3454, S. 3455, S. 3456, S. 3457, S. 3458, S. 3459, S. 3460, S. 3461, S. 3462, S. 3463, S. 3464, S. 3465, S. 3466, S. 3467, S. 3468, and S. 3469.
Is there objection?
Object.
Objection is heard.
In some other news, it's being noted that House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is now considering new limits or perhaps even an outright ban on members of Congress being able to hold and trade stocks if Republicans take back the majority in November. Now, some people believe that he may allow for lawmakers to hold index funds, but not individual stocks. The idea behind this is that lawmakers often hear behind the scenes what's going on in private before news goes public, and therefore can take advantage of this news. And then of course, profit off of it. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, for example, who currently has a net worth of well over $100 million, has made as much as $30 million from big tech stock trades, even though she's supposed to be regulating that industry. So I'm not saying what Nancy Pelosi is currently doing is shady or illegal, but it is very apparent that lawmakers do know of certain information before it goes public, so obviously they would have an advantage in any trades they make. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, if you would like to receive 1 free stock from Robinhood or 2 free stocks from Webull, make sure to claim them by clicking my links in the description box below. So once again, I hope that everyone has a great and safe rest of their day, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.